Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, after a sleepy start to the 2011 season, the Tigers' offense has suddenly come alive. 18 runs in this series against Chicago and a cool .386 batting average as well. The Tigers' offense is clicking and running on all cylinders, and the hope is it will continue today as we bring you the final game in this three-game series featuring the Chicago White Sox and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Happy Easter and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us. Rod Allen will join us in a little bit. The Tigers, without question, have gotten the bats going. That is only part of the story here at Comerica Park. The pitching is the other part. Justin Verlander on Friday night was outstanding for the Tigers. It was Brad Penny yesterday, and today the hope is Max Scherzer will be able to follow suit here against the Chicago White Sox. And when you look at the history for Max Scherzer against the White Sox in 4 starts, a really good ERA, 31 strikeouts in those 4 starts, and just 7 walks, and a record of 1-1. Scherzer making his 5th start of the season as the Tigers go for the sweep here today against the White Sox. Right now we send it back to the Call Sam Studios, and here's Justin White.
April in the D, April in the D, April in the heat of our Tigers. April in the D, April in the D, April in the Let's Go Tigers team. April in the D, April in the D, April in the heat of our Tigers.
And the sounds of BDAV, who are in concert here at Comerica Park on Friday night. It is a nice windy afternoon here for baseball at Comerica as we get you ready for the Tigers and White Sox in Game 3 in this series. If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Here's the starting lineup for the Chicago White Sox, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, and it features Juan Pierre, Omar Vizquel, and Carlos Quentin at the top. You got Adam Dunn batting fourth today, the DH. Alexi Ramirez at short. A.J. Pierzynski will catch in the bottom three of Tian, Lillibridge, and Morel. So we are ready for baseball here this afternoon on a 51-degree day here in the Motor City. Glad to have you with us. Happy Easter along the Motor City today. Those tuning in for Tigers baseball. First pitch of the ball game is a strike called on Juan Pierre, who offered a bunt. It'll be Pierre, Vizquel, and Carlos Quentin. Tigers have won 8 straight against the Chicago White Sox and looking for the sweep today. Here's a bunt. This one will go foul, and quickly Pierre down in the count 0-2. Juan Pierre in the series, 1 for 6. He has a walk. He is their leadoff man who's done a terrific job in terms of getting on base, stealing bases in his career. And they would like to get him going. He's batting .267. Here is Scherzer's 0-2 pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pierre. In a bit of a slump right now. Pierre is just 4 for his last 26 at bats. The Chicago offense itself has not been clicking on all cylinders by any means. And the 1-2. Ground ball to third base, off to his left, Brandon Inge. Pierre is out of there, 1 gone. Scouting reports on Max Scherzer is presented today by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Well, he may as well take a page out of Verlander's book in Penny yesterday, and that's be very aggressive with the fastball. However, located up around the belt buckle, you might get some swings and misses. And one of the things that they like to see him do better, and that's manage the pitch count. Throwing way too many pitches for the amount of innings that he has pitched so far this year.
Here's Omar Vizquel. He stands in with 1 out.
Scherzer has the kind of stuff where he can attack the strike zone, and he should be right around 90, 95 pitches into the 7th and 8th inning on a nightly basis. He's got that kind of stuff.
The 1-0 is a strike called 1-1 on Vizquel. Well, the Tigers have won each of his 4 starts this year. He is 3-0 in terms of decisions. 7 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts. Ball outside to Vizquel. Happy birthday on Easter Sunday to Omar Vizquel, who turns 44 today.
How about that?
Unbelievable. And still going strong. 2-2. Terrific athlete, tremendous baseball player, good guy as well.
All the way around. It's a stellar individual.
Out of Caracas, Venezuela. And he checks his swing, missing inside. 3-2 now on Vizquel. Omar in the series 0 for 4. And he takes a walk. Scherzer issues his first base on balls.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by the fine folks at Beaumont Hospital. And I know you're watching today, so happy Easter to all of you at the Beaumont properties. It's Inge in the infield with Peralta, Rayburn, and Cabrera. The outfield is Bosch and Jackson and Wells. Avila getting another start against the left-hander Danks today because he is sizzling hot offensively.
1 on 1 out, and here comes Carlos Quentin, who's batting .308. Quentin in the number 3 spot in the lineup these days. And he waves and misses at the first.
Power against power. Carlos Quentin, when the season began, was batting 7th because Ozzie Guillen just wanted him to kind of settle in and relax a little bit, take some pressure off. But it hasn't taken long for him to take hold of that number 3 spot in Ozzie Guillen's batting order.
There's a bouncing ball hit toward third on the charge is Inge. One play, and that's to get Quentin with Vizquel moving up. Got a quick throw down there, and he just got back.
That's a good pitch. After the first pitch fastball that he kind of threw right past Carlos Quentin, he came back with a real slow breaking ball. The bat is already sped up, and that's how you get guys to roll over. You've got to disrupt the hitter's timing, especially guys that are as hot right now as Carlos Quentin.
Well, on the opposite end of the spectrum is Adam Dunn. He is not hot at all. In fact, Dunn is 4 for his last 42. They have him in the cleanup slot in this one today. But he began the season as their number 3 hitter.
He doesn't look comfortable right now. It just does not look like he's really comfortable swinging the bat.
How much do you think the appendix surgery has to do with him slowing down?
I think that has something to do with that. I think also the fact that he's changed leagues, although there is interleague play. He has changed leagues. He has to learn all the American League pitchers, and he's getting accustomed to a new role. First time he's ever been an everyday designated hitter.
RBI chance here against Scherzer, but Max quickly ahead in the count 0-2.
Well, if you're Max and Avila, what you have to do is elevate the fastball here. Avila knows that Dunn has had a tough time of catching up to that fastball the last couple of days. So that's exactly what you want to do here. You don't want to make a mistake. If you happen to throw something off speed, you make sure you bounce it.
Verlander exploited that weakness in his start a couple of nights ago when he was throwing elevated fastballs to Dunn, and he just flat out wasn't able to catch up.
He was not. You can see the shift in the infield. They play him to pull. They play him pretty much straight up in the outfield. That last fastball by Scherzer was 96 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss, and down he goes. He strikes out again. Scherzer has his first of the game. White Sox get a runner to second base to fail to score him. Max fans Dunn to end the inning. Bottom of the first here at Comerica Park. We'll check out the Tigers starting lineup. It is presented today by Big Boy. It's Jackson, Rayburn, and Ordonez at the top. Maglio, the DH. Cabrera cleaning up, and Peralta and Bosch. Bottom 3 today features Wells, Avila, and Brandon Inge. And so the Tigers will send Austin Jackson to the dish here against the lefty John Danks. And the bottom of the first is underway with a strike called on Jackson. Austin's starting to perk up a little bit now. 3 hits in the series, double, couple of runs scored, and that's a good sign. There's no doubt that the Tigers offense, certainly last year many times, revolved around him getting on base and setting the table. And how about that?
Well, it's no coincidence.
Another base hit. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on John Danks. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Danks is one of the toughest left-handed pitchers in the American League that you really don't know a whole lot about. You hear about CeCe Sabathia, John Lester, and of course his teammate Mark Burley, but he is right up there with all of the gentlemen that I just mentioned, and the reason for that, he's got above average stuff. The fastball in the low 90s, he'll cut it, he'll sink it. Nice little curveball. He's got a slider, changeup. It's a real good left-hander.
Here's Ryan Rayburn batting in the 2 slot. Ball gets away from Pierzynski, moves the runner up.
That's what Jackson will do. When Jackson gets on base, he wreaks havoc. That's a step off kind of a slide step by Danks, rushing the ball to the plate. He bounces it. Przenski can do nothing with it, and Jackson now in scoring position. He doesn't utilize that same kind of delivery had it not been for the speed of Jackson.
I was asking Scherzer the other day what a slide step does to a pitcher if it minimizes your velocity, and he said a little bit, but more than anything else, as Rayburn cuts and misses.
It's funny that he would say that because I believe the same thing that he said, but every single pitching coach that I've ever talked to tells me differently. He says, no, it has nothing to do with velocity.
Well, he said,
but I differ.
More than anything else, it increases your chances of making a mistake when you because it throws you out of your normal rhythm. There's another swing and a miss.
Yeah, because you're rushing your delivery. You're not picking your leg up. You're not getting to a balanced position. Therefore, the arm never gets up high enough to come to that downward plane. You leave balls up in the strike zone.
Meanwhile, Rayburn behind in the count here, 1-2. He's having a fabulous series. An RBI chance here with Jackson at second. Ryan 4 for 8 in the series. He fouls that one back.
Ryan's got a job to do here. Even though there are 2 strikes, what he wants to try to accomplish is hit something to the right side of the infield or base hit in that direction. You have to at least advance Jackson to third base. Score that very first run of the game. Your real good managers, they will tell you, win that first inning. Win the first inning.
And again, the 1-2. Driven to center field. Lillibridge coming on, and he'll make the play.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox defensively. It's always presented by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, you've got Pierre Lillibridge and Carlos Quentin. The infield reads Morel, Ramirez, Vizquel, and Martin. Przenski behind the dish, and John Danks on the mound, as you know by now.
Carlos Quentin in right field for the Chicago White Sox.
Tigers want to put themselves in positions all day today where they don't have to pitch to Quentin.
There's a strike called on Maglio.
Maglio has tremendous numbers in his career against John Danks. I mean, he's absolutely lit him up like a Christmas tree.
It's really kind of unbelievable, the numbers he has. It's over 600 against him.
And it's really no small sampling. 14 for 23. He's trotted around the baseball park a couple of times, and he's punched him out twice.
609.
He's in a tough spot right here, though. 0-2.
And a bouncing ball left side of the infield. Ramirez. And Ordonez is out. Advanced the runner to third with 2 away.
Well, the way that the White Sox have been going and the difficulty they have had winning games, they may as well walk Cabrera. Or at the very least, really not give him anything to hit. But we'll see. I don't blame Ozzie Guillen one bit.
It's just a smart baseball play.
Oh, are you telling? But, you know, the guy in the on-deck circle is very capable of getting a base hit. But this guy right here, he's proven that he's the best hitter in this league right now.
So the intentional walk here to Cabrera.
It kind of goes back to the Rayburn at bat, and there's nothing against Rayburn. Rayburn did the best that he could do to try to get Jackson over to third base. But you knew if they didn't score that run with the base open, that Cabrera would not hit.
4th intentional walk of the year for Miguel Cabrera. The White Sox as a team have 2. Let's bring up Johnny Peralta. So the wheels spinning early in this one. The Tigers have runners at first and third after the intentional walk. Peralta 4 for 9 in the series. Detroit trying to grab the early lead against John Danks, the 26-year-old out of Austin, Texas. Ball 1.
Danks is a good athlete. Fields his position. Very tough to run on. He's got a decent move. And he's the ultimate competitor. This guy competes.
Danks comes from a family that is very accomplished in terms of athletics. His father played basketball at the University of Texas, and his brother is at AAA with the White Sox, Jordan Danks.
Got a sister playing some volleyball, too. That's pretty good.
Let's not forget her.
No. Give her props, too.
Fouled away. 1-2 on Peralta. Danks has been pretty good when you look at his numbers in the first 3 innings of ball games.
Yeah, he's very stingy. The earned run average is under 1.
One and 2. Runner goes. Cabrera's on the move, and it's rolled to third base. Morel behind the bag. Throws out Peralta by half a step. And that is that for the Tigers. They get a hit, a walk, they lead 1, and we go to the second. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. By Chrysler. And by Arby's Junior Buffalo Chicken Sandwich. New to Arby's Value Menu. Hurry, available for a limited time only. A bit of a hazy day here in the Motor City. Nice day nonetheless, though. The temperature up to 55 right now. Alexi Ramirez leading it off for the White Sox in a scoreless game. Ramirez, Pierzynski, and then Mark Teahan. Scherzer gave up a walk but struck Dunn out to end the first inning. Max ready with the 0-1. Ramirez at 233, and he is just 1 for his last 18.
They have several guys that are struggling and have been struggling for about a week to 10 days now.
1 and 2. Well, when you look at the numbers, and we keep talking about all these guys that are struggling, still Chicago has scored 94 runs this year, which is 5th in the American League.
Chicago will be right there at the end of September. They'll be right in the hunt in the American League Central. Make no mistake about it. They've got a really good team. They just have not put it all together yet. But they will before it's all said and done.
Got him, strike 3. Ramirez punched out of there. Wasn't so sure about that call, and that is the second Scherzer strikeout.
Max has got that real good firm fastball from that really nice arm slot, that low 3/4 arm slot. And when it's down and it's on the outer edges at 90 miles an hour, inside, excuse me, you're not going to hit it.
1 out. Here's A.J. Pierzynski. A.J. at 262. That one sails inside and low. 1-0. 2 out of 7 in the series for A.J. Hadn't homered yet this year. He's knocked in 9. 2-0.
A.J. was a free agent in the offseason, and he did not know whether he would be brought back by general manager Kenny Williams until very late in the free agent process. But he feels right at home in a White Sox uniform.
3 balls, no strikes on Pierzynski. And there's a strike, 3-1.
Jackson in center field playing really shallow with Pierzynski standing in the batter's box. reason for that is Jackson has tremendous talent and can go back on the baseball in center field as well as any center fielder in the American League, in my opinion. Top-notch defender.
And that opinion is shared by most, if not all. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Roll toward third base. Brandon gobbles it up. And there are 2 gone now. Hinge, of course, was involved in a controversial play yesterday, and I know, Rob, that you saw it. We didn't do the game, but we saw replays of it. Was it a hit or an error? Brad Penny was on the mound. They ruled it a hit.
Well, we'll take a look at it after Tien does whatever he does, but before we even take a look at it, I'm going to say, in my opinion, I thought it was an error.
Tien looks at strike 1. I'm with you on that. Brandon Inge said after the game that he thought it was an error as well. There are many that feel that it was a hit. But it was certainly not a routine play, but I think in my mind a play that most third basemen can make.
Well, for Brandon, because he has displayed time and time again that he could make that play and a lot tougher plays. I understand the circumstances. This is a no-hitter, but I thought that it was scored correctly initially.
The 0-2 is outside. 1-2 on Tien. Tien 269. He has homered once. Had his season cut short with an injury last year. And he takes inside 2-2. Just underway here in the second. No score. Final game in this series. Tigers in search of the sweep. And he fouls it off.
Max has got his real good stuff here today. He's got the fastball. He's touched 96 already here in the first inning. And then he's got that real good changeup that fades away from the left-handed batter.
Three and two.
There's that change piece, but Tien wasn't biting on it.
If Tien keeps it going, Lillibridge would be next. And the 3-2 pitch. He got him. Strike 3. Painted the outside corner. Scherzer has his third strikeout of the game. He gets Ramirez and Tien here in the second. Bottom of the second inning here at Comerica Park. No runs, 1 hit for Detroit, and no runs, no hits for Chicago. Brendan Bosch leads it off, then Casper Wells and Alex Avila facing Danks.
Danks has held left-handed batters to a sub-200 batting average this season.
Doesn't matter to Bosch.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, because Brennan Bosch is sizzling hot. It doesn't matter who's pitching these days.
What a turnaround it's been for Bosch, who now has a 6-game hitting streak. Tigers have their second hit. Lefties, righties, doesn't seem to matter. Here comes Casper Wells. Casper has made 6 starts this series, hit safely in all 6. A couple of RBIs in this series for Detroit. And he takes ball 1 inside.
Danks is one of those pitchers that's not afraid to throw a fastball in this fastball count. There are some, especially a lot of the left-handers in the league. They will back off and throw a changeup or a breaking ball, but he's not afraid to throw his heater in this situation.
Danks last year, career highs in victories with 15 and innings pitched with 213.
He could have won 20 with any run support whatsoever.
Yeah, they did not give him any at all. He was about 3.5 per game.
And nor have they given him any so far this year. So they've picked up right where they left off as far as scoring runs for Danks.
I wonder why that is with certain guys. I mean, every team has that one guy that they just don't score for.
Yeah.
The 1-1. 1-2 on Casper Wells.
In case you're wondering, with Przinski behind the plate, he doesn't throw well. As a matter of fact, he's not thrown out a base runner so far this year. But I also pointed out the fact that Danks is very difficult to get a jump on and steal a base successfully.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed, and Wells is gone. First strikeout for Danks. That'll bring up Alex Avila. We promised we'll get to that Brandon Inge play if, in case he didn't happen to see it yesterday. We'll get to it this half inning. Inge coming up next, but in the end, the Tigers ran away with a shutout victory, and that's all that matters. Avila has really perked up. 327.
Lots of extra base hits as well. Continues to get himself in really good hitters counts, and that's one of the reasons why he's done a lot of damage lately.
Alex has hit 3 home runs, 5 for 7 in this series. As Danks chases Bosch back.
It's the second time this year where Jim has kind of hinted that he would give Avila a day off, as he did in Seattle a few days ago. Sunday was supposed to be a day off for Avila, but with the hot bat, Avila keeps forcing himself into the starting rotation.
Can't do it. There's a ball high, and Alex continues to get starts against left-handed pitching.
Yep.
Look at what the bottom of the lineup did yesterday. It's pretty good. 7 for 13 for Lloyd McClendon's offensive unit.
A rare off day for Edwin Jackson, who has pitched very well in a White Sox uniform.
Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila. Tigers, with their victory yesterday, jumped to 1 game over the 500 mark at 11-10, and this is where they excelled last year at home. They're hoping to certainly put together similar home numbers this year with a little bit better road mark. We'll give them a chance to win the Central. Bosch not a base stealer per se, but he does have good speed for a guy his size.
Pretty good percentage at stealing bases as well since coming to the majors.
That's true. Lifted back out of play, 1-2. Tigers in the series came in today batting .391. That's how much their bats perked up, and a lot was made on the recent road trip about the struggles that this team was going through. And I think you're starting to see some guys now put some better numbers up. Guys like Austin Jackson, Ryan Rayburn, they're starting to heat up.
That Oakland athletic staff had a little something to do with their inability to hit a whole bunch on that road trip, at least the start of that road trip.
Ooh, he banged that one off his foot. 1-2.
Looked like that hit him off his left knee, his back knee. You don't see that very often.
And it's taking an extra second or two to get over it.
Catchers get beat up enough when they've got the gear on, let alone hitting balls off of their legs.
And another toss back to first, and Bosch just a couple of steps off the bag. Danks last year got off to a great start in April, was 3-0. His ERA was about 1.5. White Sox as a team, though, not getting off to a good start at all. The 1-2, and that's high, 2-2. In fact, the Sox have not won in any of Danks' 4 starts this year. Contrary to today's Tigers starter, where the Tigers have won in each of Scherzer's 4 starts. Paying a lot of attention to Brendan Bosch. Inge waiting in the on-deck circle. Danks gave up a single and an intentional walk in the first. He's given up a base hit here in the second. Bouncing ball foul, first base side. Out of the reach down there, Mark Tien. A couple of changes in the lineup today. They have Konerko out of the lineup, so one of their big bats getting a day off. Tien sliding over to first base. And as well, Alex Rios not playing today, with Brent Lillibridge starting in center field.
Well, that's a sign of a good manager, and Jim has done that on occasion. You have to rest some of your veteran players, despite not playing good baseball.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield at third base, Brent Morrell. And that's out number 2. Well, as promised, here's that play yesterday. It was ruled an error on Brandon Inge. Or ruled a hit, I should say, on Brandon Inge. Many thought it should have been an error. And that was the first hit given up by Brad Penny. Now, the other question was, is Penny going to have enough gas to go 9 innings to try and get a no-hitter had that been ruled an error?
It would have been tough for him to do so.
And Brandon takes strike 1.
I thought that it was an error. I think that Brandon Inge makes that play all day, every day.
Inge batting .212. And he drives one to center on a line right at Lillibridge. And that is that for Detroit. No runs, a leadoff single is stranded. We go to the third, and you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. To all of those tuning in today, the Tigers and White Sox in a scoreless game as we go to the top of the third. Max Scherzer back to the hill. Max has allowed just one walk in this game. That's it so far. He has fanned 3. And the 8, 9, and 1 hitters will face him here in the third. Brent Lillibridge, Brent Morel, and then Juan Pierre. Lillibridge at 385, 1 for 1 in the series. Scherzer with strikeouts of Dunn, Ramirez, and Tien so far. And Max goes to work here in the third. First pitch is a little bit low, 1-0 on Lillibridge. He is 5 for his last 10, and that has jumped his average up. The 1-0 pitch. Inside. 2 balls, no strikes. White Sox got him from the Atlanta Braves and a Javier Vasquez deal a couple of years ago in 2008. Very versatile guy. He doesn't play a whole lot of center field as he is today. In fact, he started just 10 games there last year, but he can give them some time out there. And another strike up with the right hand goes Gary Cederstrom. 2-2 on Lillibridge. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Max came in with 23 strikeouts in 23 innings of work. He's had a pretty good strikeout pace today with 3 already. And he lost it. Ball 4, leadoff man is on. Second walk now for Max. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game today, presented by the Quarter Pounder with Cheese. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Final results on Tigers Live after the game. Gabby has a good shot. Has a good shot every night of being your player of the game. Brent Morel, the batter.
Yeah, a quick throw over to first base by Scherzer. That sign given by Jim Leland. He wanted to see whether Morel was up there bunting, especially the way the White Sox have been struggling scoring runs.
No sign here, and he takes strike 1. Here's something to kind of illustrate a point you made earlier in the game today. Scherzer has gone to 4 full counts in this game, so that's just the deal they're trying to correct here and make him more economical.
Well, they want him to pitch to more contact early in counts instead of thinking about the strikeout.
The strikeouts with his stuff, you would imagine, would come anyway.
No doubt about that. But what they don't want to happen is him throw 6 pitches to Lillibridge, which he just did. 3-2 count, then he walked him on ball 4. They rather see Lillibridge put the ball in play on the first 2 pitches.
Here's the 0-1. So Morel down to the count. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 for 7 in the series, but he as well is struggling right now. Only 3 hits in his last 23 at bats. Runner goes, and it's fouled away. Lillibridge will retreat. Morel, coming up as a prospect in Chicago's organization, was ranked as their best hitter and also the infielder with the best arm. They feel that he can be a really good player at this level, and he is getting his opportunity this year. Saw him a little bit last year. And even a team like Chicago that has so many good veteran players, you still, I assume, have to sprinkle in some young talent every year to keep the average age in pretty good shape. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Down he goes. The 3rd strikeout now, make it the 4th strikeout for Max.
Really good slide piece here by Max. Located beautifully down in the zone. Avila gets down to block it. You really can't locate an 0-2 pitch any better than that one. You can take a look at it in Exmo, courtesy of Fox.
That'll bring up Juan Pierre. He bounced out his first time up. And now Max will step off. They've got Brandon on the grass at third base.
Brandon in his starting position looks like he's getting ready to run a marathon.
He's on the starting blocks down there. Ball one on Pierre. Runner goes. Here comes the throw. The tag is in time. Boy, what a beautiful throw by Alex Avila.
He was given time to throw by Max Scherzer. Scherzer doesn't have a great move to first base, but he had been changing his times as to getting the ball to Avila, and Lillibridge takes off, but not a good jump at all.
Right on the money, and there's the tag. And the bases are empty. Pierre fouls it back 1-2. So Avila, after a slow start, is now up to 26%. He really wasn't given a whole lot of time early in the year and had no chance of throwing anybody out. That has changed. Softly to the shortstop on a line, and that is that for Chicago. No runs, a walk, nobody left. 2.5 in the books on Easter Sunday as Alex Avila shows off his throwing arm. Is brought to you by AT and your neighborhood Spartan stores. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. Here's a bunt by Jackson to first base. Can he get there? Oh, they got it. And a tag by Tien. What a play.
It's a smart play right there by Jackson. I thought that he was going to try to head first slide into first base and elude the tag of Tien. And I'm just glad he kind of ran through the bag, because bad things happen when you're trying to slide head first and also try to elude the tag at first base, because you don't usually do it.
That really had head first slide written all over it.
I thought he was going to do it. I'm glad he didn't, though. If he gets that bunt about 3 steps to the right of Mark Tien, it's a base hit. It's a wonderful idea by Jackson. It's also one of the few times I've seen Jackson bunt in that direction.
Yeah. It's usually the other way down the third base line.
He said in Seattle that he wanted to incorporate bunting as part of his game, and apparently He has been working long and hard on that in the cages.
Almost worked out there. A nice play by Tien keeps him off the base. It's down the right field line, foul ground, and out of play. Rayburn is 0 for 1 with the fly ball to center. Ryan has hit safely in his last 5. And with the left-hander on the mound, as Jim Leland has done now the last couple of times they faced a lefty, Rayburn plays second and bats in the 2 spot. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's not all bad to have a little thump in that number 2 spot, especially going up against a guy that's going to challenge you with some fastballs during the course of the afternoon, as Danks will do.
Swing and a miss, and Rayburn is down on strikes, 2 away. This is the second strikeout of the afternoon for John Danks. Here's Ordonez. Maglio appears to be feeling a little bit better with that ankle now because he's playing in consecutive games.
He told me as much today in the clubhouse. Feeling much better. Weather starting to warm up a little bit. That had a lot to do with it, he said.
1-1 on Mags.
It's like Ian said last year with those surgically repaired knees. When the weather warmed up, he got a lot better.
Well, sometimes it sounds as an excuse, but for guys that are injured and coming off surgeries and broken ankles like Ordonez, it really is something you have to deal with. It'll pop up to second, and it looks like Danks has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers go in order. We've played 3. Happy Easter from Comerica Park. Exclusive coverage of the UEFA Champions League semifinals. It begins Tuesday with Schalke taking on Manchester United on Fox Soccer. And then on Wednesday, one of the world's greatest sports rivalries resumes as Barcelona battles Real Madrid on FX. Coverage of both games begins at 2 Eastern in high definition where available. Back here at Comerica Park as we go to the 4th in a scoreless game.
Nice job with that read.
Dude, you know how many times I practiced that thing before
I'm glad he gave it to you. He knows I had no shot at that. He already knows.
UEFA's and Schalke's and all kinds of stuff.
You nailed it, though. You nailed it.
1 strike on Omar Vizquel. Vizquel, Quinton, and Dunn here in the 4th inning. Scherzer has looked good today. There's a chopper back up the middle. Rayburn on the charge. And out by a step, Vizquel, 1 gone. He'll bring up Carlos Quinton. Quinton is 0 for 1 with a ground out. The only 2 base runners today against Scherzer, a walk in the 1st to Vizquel and a walk to Lillibridge in the 3rd. Quinton this year has 11 doubles already. That's an April record for the White Sox.
He has 24 hits, 17 of which are extra base hits.
Nice. The 1-0.
You talk about contact to damage ratio. That's really off the chain. 17 of 24. It's a dangerous count right here if you throw him a fastball. He threw it too, and he located it beautifully. And for him not to swing at it gives you an idea that it was a wicked fastball at the knees on the black outside.
Heading down the right field line, and a long run by Bosch, or Wells rather, the right fielder, and he tracks it down in foul territory. So Quinton is out of there.
That's a nice play by all three. Both Cabby and Rayburn, they went as hard as they could possibly go until they heard Casper Wells call them off, and then they just peeled out of the way. That's exactly what you do. You go as hard as you possibly can, and then you can see visibly Wells calling both off multiple times.
Here's Adam Dunn. Ozzie Guillen saying that he moved Dunn out of the number 3 spot. Although he's batting cleanup today, he was batting lower to kind of get his confidence back a little bit. Dunn started nicely in his first game on opening day with Chicago. He homered, had a couple of RBIs, but then that appendectomy, and that seems to have turned things around for him a little bit.
And yes, that is the second baseman right here.
Two balls, one strike.
What Ozzie may have to do, he may have to put Dunn over at first base a couple of games just to kind of get him in the mix and get his mind away from just hitting only. And that might wake him up a little bit.
You know, I was thinking about that earlier today when I was looking at the numbers on Dunn and how much he has struggled this year compared to what he's done in his career. And I was wondering, what if you put the guy in the field for a couple of days?
Well, Konerko's a good defender. But, it's not an everyday thing for Dunn, but just something to maybe get him going.
And there's a walk. Scherzer issues the free pass. His third walk already. Two out base runner. It'll bring up Alexi Ramirez. Alexi struck out in the second. No hits in the series, 0 for 5. The Silver Slugger Award winner last year for the shortstop position. Here's had a nice season, 19 homers, 70 RBIs. There's a breaking ball strike.
He's got a tall, wiry frame, but he's got a lightning quick bat, and he's got some power.
Low and away, 1-1.
The White Sox signed Alexi Ramirez to a nice 4-year contract after last season. He'll be in a White Sox uniform for the foreseeable future.
Grounded foul. Well, he's been a nice player. He did something earlier this year that you don't very often see, and that's hit into a triple play. He did it against Cleveland back in early April. Behind in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and Scherzer dusts him off. Another strikeout. That is 5 for Max today. No runs, a walk, nobody left, or 1 left, no score. Trivia question this afternoon on this day in 1994. Which two White Sox hit back-to-back homers twice in the same game against Detroit? That's your question this afternoon. As Miguel Cabrera leads it off in the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Cabrera, Peralta, Bosch. Facing John Danks. Danks wanted no part of Cabrera with first base open back in the first inning, and he walked him intentionally. The 1-1 right back up the middle and into center field. There is no part of the field, no part of the playing surface that is safe when Cabrera's up there.
It's awfully difficult to get Miguel Cabrera out with balls in the strike zone. Every now and then he'll chase something, or if you do throw him a strike, he'll hit it at somebody. But chances are you're just not going to get him out, and Danks knows that. Having a chuckle with Cabrera on first base.
Tigers have their third hit today. Here's Johnny Peralta. Johnny bounced out his first time up.
A couple of years ago when the Tigers made that offseason deal to bring Cabrera and put him in a Tigers uniform, the White Sox were hot and heavy on Cabrera too. They tried to put together a package to offer to the Florida Marlins, but the Tigers package was much, much better.
Yeah, a few teams were. I think the Angels were involved as well. And that Tigers package at the time, when you looked at it, include such names as Andrew Miller, Cameron Maybin.
And they were supposed to be stars in the game.
Yep.
I mean, Miller was supposed to be a top of the rotation left-hander throwing 96 to 98 miles an hour. And Maybin was going to be a really good center fielder. Maybin finally playing in San Diego these days.
2-1 on Peralta. On the surface, at least at this point, that deal has been a lopsided deal for the Tigers.
I don't think it's going to change either.
No, I think you're right.
That's not going to change.
I mean, those other guys might catch up a little bit, but Cabrera's not going to stop hitting.
Yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's that good.
3-1 on Peralta. Cabrera now, by the way, is 6-game hitting streak, the longest of the season. Johnny ropes one foul right outside of the bag at third. Well, it was a very, very, very slow spring training for Peralta, and some were concerned that the fact that he was hitting around 200 most of the spring and even below 200 might be a problem this year. But Peralta has been very solid offensively, the numbers that I think the Tigers expected once the regular season started. And he takes high for a walk.
Well, Jim's favorite two words. Track record, and that's exactly what he was going on regarding Peralta in his spring slump.
Second walk for Danks. One was intentional, and that'll bring up Bosch now with nobody out.
And Brennan Bosch was first pitch swinging the last time that he was up, but one of the things that has allowed Bosch's batting average to get up to around 350 is the fact that on occasion he's been very patient at the plate, seeing much more pitches this year through the first 3 weeks of the season than he did when he burst on the scene last year as a rookie. Much more patience.
Ball one outside. Well, going into the offseason, he certainly did not have a good taste in his mouth based on his second half, and the Tigers told him as well, you need to work on your defense in the offseason. But it seems like with 3 or 4 months in the offseason, he was able to just get some things straightened out. Breaks his bat here, loops one into shallow right field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Cabrera comes to third and stops there. Bosch has another hit, and the Tigers have him loaded.
Everything is going right for the young man. Even when he gets sawed off by a good firm fastball, he's still able to fight that ball off and find some grass in the outfield.
Fourth hit of the game for the Tigers. 2 of them belong to Bosch, and a golden scoring opportunity here. With the bases loaded, nobody out. And Casper Wells settling into the box. Casper struck out back in the second. The Tigers, over the course of this 8-game winning streak over the White Sox, have outscored the Sox 62-20 as they go for their 9th straight win against Chicago. Ball one, which I guess is a good indication of how well they have pitched against a Sox team that typically is one that puts up a lot of runs. And they've gotten 2 good outings already in this series. Verlander and Penny. Brzezinski blocks it. Now it's 2-0, and the collar is tightening a little bit on Danks.
Here's where you make your money in the big leagues. In counts like these, with the bases full, and there's absolutely nowhere to put Casper Wells. Get something to hit, young man, and let it go.
All just straight back.
Wasn't quite ready for that 92-mile-per-hour fastball.
Danks single and a walk in the first, a single in the second, and now a single, a walk, and a single here in the third. Nobody out. And that's fouled straight back. 2-2 on Casper Wells. Alex Avila waiting his turn on deck. Jim Leyland has watched his offense come alive in this series. And Avila's been a big part of it. Crowd's starting to get into it a little bit too. An Easter Sunday crowd here at the ballpark. Three and two. And it gets more interesting now. Fouled away. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Casper so far this year has knocked in 3. Spotty playing time in terms of being a starter. Brian Bosch has seen most of the playing time, with Ordonez DHing most of the time with his ankle. The end of the bat. John Danks has had double-digit wins in each of the last 3 years, has been one of the best lefties in the American League. This year, like his entire team, off to a slow start in the month of April. And in a big-time jam here in the fourth, with nobody out and the bases loaded. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Wells.
Gutsy pitch. I mean, a gutsy pitch by John Danks. And he had a lot of confidence in throwing this changeup right here. It's 3-2 with the bases loaded, and he throws a beautifully located pitch at the bottom of the zone.
One away. We'll bring up Alex Avila. Avila is 0 for 1. Inning started with a Cabrera single, a Peralta walk, and a Bosch base hit. Alex had a big rip, 0-1. John Danks trying to pitch out of a bases loaded jam with Cabrera, Peralta, and Bosch. Tigers had 9 runs, 12 hits in the first game. They poured on the offense yesterday as well, scoring 9 more. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now, suddenly on Avila. bat, rolled it towards second. He'll get the out there, and a run will score as Cabrera comes in. RBI for Avila, and it's 1-0 Detroit.
It's the second broken bat in this inning by John Danks with a couple of left-handers, Bosch and Avila. But Avila will take a broken bat and an RBI every single day.
He got behind in the count 0-2. Ends up with his 14th RBI of the season, which trails only Miguel Cabrera, who leads the team with 15. Second and third, 2 outs. Here's Brandon Inge. Ball 1. Danks has a chance at a moral victory here by getting out of this mess with allowing just 1 run. But he's got to get Inge. Brandon lined one to center field his first time. Ball 2 on Brandon. Pickoff throw in the tag a little bit tardy. Vizquel was kind of sneaking in behind the runner at second. Two and one. Inge not a fan of that call from Gary Cedarstrom. Thought it was a little bit high, perhaps, and the conversation continues.
You don't see Inge beef much with the umpires, ever, really.
That's way outside. 3-1.
Looks like to me that they're pretty much pitching around Brandon.
Jackson on deck. And Cooper, the pitching coach, looks on.
New York Yankees tried to hire Coop away from the Chicago White Sox in the offseason.
Driven high in the air to left field. And Pierre gets back there in front of the warning track to end the inning. So for Danks, he's able to pitch out of a little bit of trouble here. Gives up a run on the ground ball by Alex Avila. Cabrera scores to make it 1-0 Detroit. Afternoon on this day in 1994. Which two White Sox hit back-to-back homers twice in the game against the Tigers? And the answer would be Julio Franco and Robin Ventura. Turned out to be a 7-6 Tigers win.
The ageless wonder, Julio Franco.
Playing at the age of 79 that year, I think.
At least.
Seemed like it. Well, the Tigers have gotten Max Scherzer a run. As we mosey on to the 5th inning here on Easter Sunday, it'll be A.J. Pierzynski to lead it off. And he takes strike one. Pierzynski, Tien, and Lillibridge in the 5th. 3 walks for Chicago, their only base runners. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pierzynski. A.J. bounced out to Brandon Inge back in the 2nd. Drives this one to center field. Jackson coming on. He'll play it on one hop. It's the first hit of the game for Chicago.
The first baseman, Martin.
That'll bring up Martin. Tien today a strikeout victim back in the second. Max has fanned 5 in this game. And ball 1 on Tien. I mentioned Tien last year didn't play a whole lot. He was limited to just 77 games. He had a fractured finger, which kept him out of the lineup much of the year. Made only 3 starts at first base last year, and that's where they have him today. Tien in his days with the Royals was a third baseman. Outfield and first base as well now.
He did everything for them. He made opening day starts for the Kansas City Royals at third base, second base, right field, left field. He was all over the baseball diamond for them. Which kind of speaks to his versatility, I guess.
And the White Sox picked him up. They gave up Chris Getz, and they gave up Josh Fields, who for years was going to be their third baseman.
Gave him a 3-year deal when they picked him up, too. They haven't got much return on that investment, however. Not yet.
2-1 on Tien. Tigers got a run in the bottom of the 4th. And a bases loaded ground out by Avila. Roll to first base. Cabrera spins. There's one. Here comes the relay. Scherzer covers, and that's a double play. Nicely done on the 3-6-1.
Here's the play right here that they worked long and hard on with Cabrera when they first got him, and that's when you get the ball, take your time, get the one out, don't worry about you getting back to the bag, allow the pitcher to do his job, and that's get to the bag, and that's exactly what Cabrera does. You can't throw and give Peralta a better feed than he gave him there.
It all starts with the big fella, and he turned it nicely.
There were times when Cabrera first started playing first base that when he would grab that ball, Mario, he would be throwing it and he'd be running back to the bag at the same time. Therefore, his throw to the shortstop wouldn't be a good throw.
Seems like he's learning the nuances of the position as we go day by day, and he certainly now has become one of the better fielding first basemen in the league. There's a wave and a miss by Lillibridge.
He has definitely made himself better over there.
I think he's also learning as well how far he needs to shade to his right to make a play.
We haven't seen him go that way very much this year.
0-2 on Lillibridge. One ball and 2 strikes. Lillibridge walked and was caught trying to steal back in the 3rd. Here's the 1-2. And a wave and a miss. And Max Scherzer, thanks to the double play ball, has a quick inning. 6 strikeouts for Max in this one. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
When you're on the field and you've got those mascots hanging around you.
They try and do all they can to make sure the car runs off the cliff.
Trevor busy on the Fox Sports Detroit website trying to get some information.
Trev working the game today here at the ballpark. Here's the 0-2. And it's high, 1-2. They'll be in the Tigers locker room following this one. Tigers Live postgame follows the telecast here today. 2-2 on Jackson. Rayburn and then Ordonez to follow. He got him, strike 3.
Hey fans, you can see the Tigers take on the Seattle Mariners this Tuesday through Thursday and take advantage of the spring ticket deal. $15 mezzanine seats are priced at only $10. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER, or you can simply visit tigers.com for the spring ticket deal.
Rayburn cuts and misses. Speaking of mascots, you remember a couple of years ago in Chicago, John Keating was on the field doing the pregame show?
I do remember that.
It was mascot day, and a few of them decided to mess up his hair. Let's pull down the left field line. One of them even reached into his bag and pulled out his hairspray.
That wasn't good.
Started playing with his makeup and his hairspray. It was pretty funny. Not for John, it wasn't.
Keats kept it all together, though.
He did. Being the pro he is. 0-2 on Rayburn. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rayburn in this one, a fly ball and a strikeout. He is 0 for 2. Danks gave up a run in the 4th. That's it for either side. Driven to left field and a base hit right in front of Juan Pierre.
Juan Pierre. A little gun shy in left field right now. He's already made several errors at that position after not really making many miscues last year. But that's a ball that he probably goes for. But he's not real comfortable out there right now for whatever reason.
5 Tigers hits, the first for Rayburn, and here is Ordonez. Maglio with a ground out and a pop-up. And a ground ball to third out of the reach of a diving Brent Morrell into left.
Well, you knew it was just a matter of time before Maglio hit something hard against Danks. His numbers coming in were way too good against John. It's a good fastball down and one step and a dive by Morrell, but he can't smother it.
And the Tigers have 6 hits, and that's going to set up Miguel Cabrera, who has been on base twice in this game, which is no shock. Coming into this game, he was at .457 for his on-base percentage, and that was 3rd best in the AL. And Cabrera now has scored 21 runs this year.
Leads the AL still, doesn't he?
It sure does. And we're not even through April. Yanked foul. 0-2 on Cabrera. Tigers another scoring opportunity here with back-to-back singles. Rayburn and Ordonez on the base paths. One and 2. Danks loaded the bases with nobody out in the 4th. He wiggled out of it by giving up just the 1 run. Azagian waiting for his offense to wake up. Outside.
Stopped by Guillen's office this morning, and he had his feet kicked up on the desk, and he was reading the clips from Chicago. He was smiling. He was in a good mood.
Really?
He does. He's in a good mood. He realizes that he's only as good as his players are right now. So,
wait and a miss, and Cabrera goes down on strikes.
They pitched him nicely there.
5 strikeouts for Danks.
And Danks backed himself into a situation where he had to pitch to Cabrera. It's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. He gets ahead of him by throwing a couple of real good pitches. Backdoor breaking ball. cut fastball, 0-2. Now he really doesn't have to give him anything to hit. And Cabrera, we very seldom see him chase anything, chase that little changeup down and away.
And Peralta cuts and misses.
He chases that same pitch.
Peralta had a walk in the fourth. Danks likes to work quickly like Burley on their staff, but with runners on, it slows things down just a tad.
They have been able to bend Danks so far in this game, but not able to break him. Lots of traffic on the base path through the first four. Very few have come home to touch home plate.
Two and one on Johnny.
If he strands these two, I've got 9 left on base. If he gets out of this jam.
That is a boatload. Off the end of the bat, foul. Now Tom Brookins will pick it up, hand out a Easter souvenir.
It'll be 7, excuse me, not 9. Left on. Still a lot.
It is, and hopefully Peralta will be able to cash a couple of these in. That young man going home with an Easter souvenir. And the 2-2. 3-2. Rayburn and Ordonez on the bases here with 2 outs. Tigers have out hit the White Sox today 6-1. And the runners will go. And a strike called on Peralta, who is punched out on strike 3. That'll do it for the Tigers. 6 strikeouts for Danks. And they strand 2 more. And the American League East, an interesting race. That one's cued foul down the first base line. The Boston Red Sox, by the way, who many thought were dead, all of a sudden now just 2 under the 500 mark, so they're on the charge.
Well, you knew they were way too good to struggle as much as they struggled with that lineup and that pitching staff. Josh Beckett has pitched some outstanding baseball, and guess who else is pitching well for them?
Daisuke
Matsuzaka. They were ready to run him out of town about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, now he's put together a couple of pretty good starts.
Oh, they love him now in Beantown.
Isn't that how it goes? Morel is leading it off. Scherzer back on the hill here in the 6th. Tigers lead it here 1-0.
What have you done for me lately?
That's the way it is in all sports, really. Well, the Yankees are playing well. They're hitting the baseball. The 1-1 pitch. Back out of play. 1-2 on Brent Morel. Tigers will have Seattle coming in next. And they were able to sidestep Felix Hernandez and Michael Pineda when we went to Seattle last week, but not so coming up this week. King Felix will pitch game 1 on Tuesday night against Phil Coke. 2-2.
That is must-see TV anytime you get a chance to watch the reigning Cy Young Award winner. His stuff is lights out, although the record really doesn't indicate it. He kind of put it together his last time out. He shut out the Oakland Athletics, I believe. Threw 126 pitches.
Ground ball, shortstop side. Peralta throws on Morel, 1 gone. And Morel now is 0 for 2. Swing it back up to the top of the lineup, Juan Pierre. Scherzer has given up 1 lonely hit in this game. That was a single to Pierzynski in the 5th. Tigers got the game's only run in the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded, ground out by Avila. He bunts. Scherzer comes off. Now he gets out of the way, and it's going to be too late.
That is the definition of a really good bunter, when everybody in the infield knows that you're going to bunt, and then you're able to place a bunt as perfect as this one, and then have the miscommunication between the catcher and the pitcher, and he trots past the bag. It's a great bunt. It's a great bunt.
Scherzer had a chance to throw him out.
Looked like he was called off at the last moment there. Boy, that's great technique in Foxmo. Great technique.
Second hit of the game now for Chicago. Tying run is on, and Pierre can run. Vizquel, the batter, he shows bunt.
White Sox had lost 7 games in a row a couple of days ago in Tampa, and it was Juan Pierre who pretty much took over the game early. Bunted, stole second, scored on a Vizquel ground out after getting to third base. However, he has been caught quite a few times this year.
What if he's a 5 out of 10?
Yes, it's not a good ratio. He's been caught 5 times.
Pierre has stolen 50 bases in a season with 4 different teams, and only one other player has done that, and that's Otis Nixon. Leaning towards second, and there he goes. And a bouncing ball to first. Cabrera has 1 play. 2 gone. Tying run gets to second base. That'll bring up Carlos Quentin.
Well, this is an interesting situation right here. Even though you've got the right-hander in the batter's box, and Scherzer's been very good in his career against right-handed batters. It's 2 outs. You got the base open. And Carlos Quentin is one of the hottest hitters in the American League. And the guy in the on-deck circles kind of struggled. So you have to be careful with him here.
We'll see how much Scherzer tiptoes around Quentin with Dunn waiting on deck. But, of course, he's the type of guy that could go off at any moment. And he misses with ball 1.
If you allow Quentin to drive this run in, if you're Max Scherzer, you will not be real happy with yourself.
There's Dunn waiting on deck. Scherzer has struck him out today. High fly ball left field. Over there is Bosch to make the play, and so Scherzer retires Carlos Quentin. They leave him at second base. It is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. Hot dogs and fries available here at the ballpark. It's 1-0 here on Easter Sunday. The Tigers on top. They've out-hit Chicago 6-2.
They got a really nice assortment of grub down there.
They do indeed. And if I wasn't working right now, I'd go sample all of it. There's a strike called on Brennan Bosch, who leads it off. It'll be Bosch, Wells, and Avila facing John Danks. 2 for 2 today for Brennan. Big swing, 0-2. What's your favorite ballpark food?
Hot dog.
Yep. Can't beat it, can you?
Hot dog.
What do you put on it?
A little mustard, a little ketchup, a few onions. I like it slightly burnt, too.
Oh, now you're getting picky.
I do.
The 0-2 is hammered in the air toward left. Hit well. Pierre going back to the wall, and he makes the catch and hangs on to it.
He's not all that comfortable out there right now. And that ball had some natural slice to it in his defense. And I saw a little snow cone there as he made that play in the outfield. That ball almost jumped out of his glove. Let's take a look at it.
Looked like it did pop out.
Little snow cone action. Whoa. He almost closed his glove too soon.
Oh, he did. So he is tiptoeing around out there on the left, but he made that play. It's bounced foul.
I've been there and done that. When you're not playing the outfield with any confidence whatsoever. I mean, that ball just hit the tip of his glove and just stayed in it. He barely made that play.
It's like there was Velcro on the glove and the ball. The 0-1. Well, what gets you into situations where you're just losing your confidence defensively?
Well, you make a few mistakes out there, and you start to hear about it, and then the team's not playing well, which kind of compounds it. It's just not good. It's not a good feeling.
0-2 on Wells. Fouled away. Casper has fanned a couple of times in this game today.
Meanwhile, Danks is doing exactly as he does in most of his starts, and that's give his team a legitimate chance to win a game. Even though the Tigers have had a lot of base runners, when there has been situations where he's been backed into a wall, he's pitched very well to get out of it.
Oh, and he's had Casper's number today. Strikes him out for the 3rd time.
He's got that really nice fading changeup, and it's a whale of a pitch for him.
So with 2 outs, here comes Alex Avila. Nice gathering here today on Easter Sunday. Weather is cooperating. Temperature right now at 57 degrees.
Hope all of you at home that are tuned in on Easter Sunday are having just a spectacular day.
Avila takes strike 1. We are glad to be a small part of it. Danks, by the way, now with 7 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1. He has 7, and Scherzer has 6. One and 2.
94 with that last fastball. That's about as high as Danks can get. 94.
What kind of cheese are we featuring today?
A little cheddar today.
A little cheddar?
A little cheddar.
1 and 2. And it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Avila with his RBI today has 14 on the season. Leland talking earlier today about the fact that his turnaround, he feels, because he's become more aggressive.
It took them about a year and a half to get that aggression out of him. They've been trying to do so. Lloyd and Jim.
And the results have been really good so far this year. 3 and 2 now. Well, it's really come at the most opportune time with Victor Martinez on the disabled list. Avila's been able to go out there just about every day and give them good at bats. And good innings behind the plate as well. Stays alive. Victor getting better and better by the day. Currently on the disabled list.
They made the right decision by putting Victor on the disabled list with that groin injury. Give him 15 days to make sure it calms down.
But his little guy still runs around the locker room with a lot of fervor.
He was hanging around there today?
He was. He was running Schlereth into the ground. 3-2. Drilled to right field, base hit. Avila with another hit in the series.
He's in a really nice groove right now.
That is his 6th hit in this series.
That pitch was at 83 miles an hour, and most left-handers just love the ball in that area. Down and in, that's their happy zone. This is their happy zone right there, and he just drills it. Look at the concentration, head down. You can draw an imaginary line right down the center of his body from the bill of the cap to the ground. That's good balance.
And it keeps the inning going for Brandon Inge. Tigers now have 7 hits. Brandon hammers one down the left field line. Fair ball going to the corner. Here comes Avila coming to third. Let's see. They're going to send him home. Pierre gets it back into the cutoff man. Throw to the plate is not in time. Brandon Inge a double and an RBI. A 2-out run for the Tigers.
It's a fastball right down the middle, and Brandon Inge got out in front of it, and he turned on it. And Gene Lamont at third base knows anytime the ball is hit to left field, if you got a chance to send the base runner, as he does here in Avila, with Pierre throwing from the outfield because he doesn't have arm strength, you got a pretty good chance of scoring that run.
8th hit of the game for Detroit. The Inge has his 4th double of the year, and it's a 2-0 Tigers lead. Brandon now has knocked in 6. Avila running hard all the way, trying to catch his breath. In the air toward left center. That ball is trouble. That one gets to the wall. This will get another run in. Jackson heads to second base. He's in with an RBI double.
There are some other guys that really have been getting the job done all year, and that's kind of been Cabrera and Bosch. But make no mistake about it, and it's no coincidence that as Jackson has perked up the last 3 days here, the offense collectively up and down has gotten much better. Just a matter of time before Jackson started to feel comfortable again.
Austin now with 2 hits and very nearly had a third on a bunt that was played nicely by Tien. Single double RBI for Jackson. Here's Rayburn. Ball 1. Tigers now have had 6 different innings in this series in which they've scored more than 1 run. And they lead 3-0. One and one on Ryan. All of this with 2 outs and nobody on. It started with a single by Avila. Jesse Crane is warming up. Strike called, 1-2. Rayburn 1 for 3. A base hit his last time, trying to pick up Jackson. Brzezinski blocks it, 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Rayburn is gone. And the Tigers are done. Tigers, however, get a couple of runs. They extend their lead as we go to the 7th. It's now 3-0.
It is now time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. We're going to take you back a couple of innings. Lillibridge on first base. Scherzer gave Avila time to throw. Perfect technique by Avila, and the tag applied by Peralta on the other side. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, the Tigers have given Max Scherzer a little bit more breathing room in this one. Avila started that rally with a base hit. And the Tigers now lead 3-0. Adam Dunn stands in. And he swings on the first pitch and skies it to center. Here comes Jackson a couple of steps. Dunn is out. One pitch, one away.
Well, Scherzer doing just as Jim Leyland has encouraged he and Verlander both to do since the second half of last year began, and that's pitch into the seventh inning and somehow try to get through the seventh inning with the stuff that you guys have.
Got a pretty good shot of that here today. The 3-0 lead. One strikeout on Alexei Ramirez, who has fanned twice in this game. 6 Scherzer strikeouts in this one. And as high as 96 with his fastball today. 1-1 on Alexei Ramirez. Ground ball to third. Routine for Brandon. 2 outs. Scherzer getting quick outs here in this inning.
The catcher, AJ Pierzynski.
Let's bring up Pierzynski. AJ 1 for 2. Base hit his last time up. One of just 2 hits allowed by Max Scherzer. They played Pierzynski to pull, but his last time up he grounded out to Brandon Inge at third. A little bit of a slight shift going. Third base line open. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers over this 8-game winning streak against Chicago now have opened up an edge runs wise of 65-20. They've outscored Chicago in that span. And the 2-1. Slice to left center. That'll drop in. Base hit. He serves one the other way. A 2-out single for Pierzynski.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, stay with us for Tigers Live. We'll go to the clubhouse and hear from the skipper, as always, Jim Leyland, and the players. Plus, we'll show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit.
Here's Mark Teahan. Strikeout double play ball from Teahan.
This is really just the beginning of a very, very difficult road trip for the White Sox. They were in Tampa for 4, here for 3. Then they got to go back to New York for 4. The Yankees.
Bouncing ball left side. Inge has it go off his glove. Picked up by Peralta, and his throw is late. Hard hit ball that caromed off Brandon Inge. Peralta almost made that play.
He sure did. Good heads up play by Johnny. You're not really accustomed to left-handers hitting the ball down to third base this sharply, and took a tricky hop on Brandon and looked like it trickled right off of his leg, and Peralta climbs the ladder, picks it, and throws on the way down, but not able to get 10.
It'll keep the inning going, and that is an error on Brandon Inge. So now the White Sox, for as silent as they have been offensively in this game, have the tying run at the plate.
Well, you have to make sure you don't give Lillibridge anything inside that he can pull for a home run. He doesn't have much power. He's hit 1 home run this year, so you want to make him utilize the big part of the ballpark.
Breaking ball is a beauty on the outer edge. 1-1 on Lillibridge.
Scherzer has gone anywhere from 96 today with his fastball all the way down to 79, 81 miles an hour with his off-speed pitches.
One and two.
There you have it. There's 80 right there. That's a nice differential. 16 miles per hour. Same arm speed, same arm slot. That's how you get big league hitters to swing like that.
2-out single by Pierzynski. Teen reaching on the air. 1-2 on Lillibridge. Good block by Avila. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Six strikeouts today for Max. Trying to strand a couple of runners here in the 7th, leading 3-0. See you later. Swing and a miss. Lillibridge is out of there. And the 7 strikeouts for Scherzer equals a season high as the White Sox strand 2.
We see you, Maxwell.
April in the D, April in the Let's Go Tigers D. April in the D, April in the D, April in the Eat 'em Up Tigers. April in the D, April in the D, April in the Let's Go Tigers D. April in the D, April in the D, April in the Eat 'em Up Tigers.
Back here at Comerica Park, here's our Comerica game summary. Tigers on top in this one, 3-0. Cabrera and Bosch have both extended their hitting streaks to 6 games each. Max Scherzer awfully good today. He's given up just 3 hits. Inge and Jackson back-to-back RBI doubles in the 6th inning, giving the Tigers some breathing room, and so Detroit enjoys a 3-0 lead in this one. By the way, it's time for our Farmers Insurance report card here this afternoon. Tigers have had a spell over the White Sox recently. Their current 8-game win streak over the Sox. Last time Detroit won 8 over Chicago. How about 1949 to 1950? That's how long it's been since Detroit has dominated the Southsiders like this. The Tigers offense certainly a key in this series.
No doubt, 21-3. The pitchers have been spectacular. Started out on Friday night with Verlander, and then Penny was very good yesterday, and Scherzer hasn't missed a beat. And when you have that kind of pitching and your offense wakes up, you're going to win some games.
Well, we have a Wallside Windows pitching change. John Danks is done for the day. Former Minnesota Twin Jesse Crane is on.
Well, Crane is as good as advertised. He spent several years in a Minnesota Twins uniform pitching out of their bullpen and was sensational. And he has continued that now in a White Sox uniform.
First man he will face is Ordonez here in the 7th. Maglio takes high. He'll be followed by Cabrera and then Peralta. One for 3 today for Maglio. And he shoots one foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Danks goes 6 and gives way now to Jesse Crane. The native of Toronto, Ontario. Fouled away again. 1-2. 7 years Jesse Crane was part of that Minnesota bullpen. Did a lot of good work with the Twins, and that was the hallmark of Minnesota. It seemed like year after year, the guys they would run out of their bullpen, they could really bring it. That bullpen is looking a whole lot different these days. In the air, right field. Carlos Quentin is under it, and Maglio is out. 1 gone. And they'll bring up Cabrera. Maglio today 1 for 4. Here's Cabrera on base 2 more times today, once via an intentional walk. Danks struck him out in his last at bat. Popped him up. Right side of the infield in foul ground, Mark Tien. 2 away. Crane makes quick work of Cabrera. Bring up Johnny Peralta. Beautiful day here at Comerica Park on Easter Sunday. 57 degrees. Temperature right now. Skies are clear. A little bit of a breeze. What a nice day nonetheless. Ball 1.
Maybe it's a sign of things to come here weather-wise the last couple of days.
I hope you're right.
Well, next week's going to be tough.
The forecasters disagree with you, though.
Yeah.
Because there is some rain in the forecast next week, but all we're concerned about right now is getting those temperatures up a little bit.
That's right.
Joaquin Benoit begins to heat up in the Detroit bullpen. Ball high to Peralta, 2-1. Johnny today is 0 for 2 plus a walk. That's in the air. Shallow center field. Who's going to get there? Nice play by the second baseman Vizquel to run out there and go get it. So the Tigers go 1-2-3. 7 in the books here at Comerica. Still 3-0 Detroit. Go to the top of the 8th inning here at Comerica Park. Tigers have out hit the opponent today 9-3, and Max Scherzer answers the belt. The 8th inning on tap here, and there's a ball missing outside. 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Brent Morel leading it off, Juan Pierre, and then Omar Vizquel.
It looks like Benoit is just kind of hanging out if anybody gets on.
Driven to right field. It's going to be playable, though, and there's a catch made out in right field by Williams. 1 away. By the way, as part of our Fox Sports Charitable Initiative, we're proud to wear these pins during our 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Detroit season. They support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. If you'd like more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. 1 away, and here's Juan Pierre, and he takes a strike.
I know this White Sox team is not playing good baseball right now. Collectively, their all-around game is not real good right now.
Roll to the right side and through, a base hit.
But for Scherzer to be doing what he has done up until this point against this team is special. He's had a tremendous day.
He's had a very good start to this season after a tremendous second half last year. It's been pretty much a continuation of his second half. Ozzie Guillen's team just got their 4th hit of the game. It'll bring up Vizquel. Strike 1 on Vizquel. Max at Comerica Park. Career is 9-4 with an ERA of under 3, so he's done really well in this ballpark, and he's helped those numbers out today. Vizquel hits a double play ball to second. Rayburn, Peralta, and there's the 4-6-3. Double play for the Tigers ends the inning. 7.5 in the books as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-0 Detroit.
The first 7,500 fans receive a Detroit Tigers fleece scarf. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. This is the first time I can ever remember the Tigers giving away a fleece scarf.
Well, we've got to get ourselves one.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good about that. They've been taking care of us.
New pitcher on now, and that would be former Grand Valley Laker Matt Thornton.
Well, it's always a good thing when you're seeing Matt Thornton when your team is winning a game. He has one of the more impressive left-handed bullpen arms in all of baseball, but the numbers would not indicate that so far this year. He's had a rough start to his 2011.
Brennan Bosch will lead it off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers lead it 3-0. It'll be Bosch, Wells, and Avila, and a wave and a miss. Bosch in this one 2 out of 3. Couple of singles. Season average now at 353 for Big Brennan. Thornton's 0-1. Same pitch, same result, 0-2.
A 90-mile-per-hour slider. Are you kidding me?
I'm not sure I believe my eyes on that.
Wow. Well, wait till you see this fastball if he decides to throw one. It's going to be about 97, 98.
And then I'll be a believer. The 0-2. Missed outside again.
This has to be the hardest slider by a left-handed pitcher in the game today. 90 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss. And he's able to dust him off.
Oh.
Strike out for Thornton. 91 in that last one.
Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the pitcher. And that's what Brennan has to do in that at bat. Don't even worry about that, young man. Just go sit down and enjoy the day you've had so far.
Here comes Casper Wells. Tough day so far for Casper. 0 for 3, all strikeouts. And he sends a little looper down to first base on a hop, and it's fielded by Tien for the out.
Well, what do you think, Party? I mean, do you think Thornton's going to get it together and be able to close some games for this White Sox team? Because really, that's been their Achilles heel this year. The back end of the bullpen has not been very good.
I think they're hoping so. Chris Sale has had opportunities as well, but he's a young guy that got to the big leagues for the first time last year. I think Ozzie Gann is hoping that Thornton is able to do it, and by what we've seen today, don't you agree he has the stuff to do it?
They also like that kid Sergio Santos, a right-hander, that he may give some opportunities to close when they get themselves into that situation again. But you're right about Chris Sale, the youngster. He was pitching in college this time last year.
Right. Of course, they had Bobby Jenks for so many years, who used to come out of the pen and do the job with a high rate of success, especially against the Tigers. Avila the batter. There's another strike, and now it's 0-2.
Well, here's kind of been their issues. 6 blown saves. Man, that bullpen has just not been getting it done.
And as a result, they came into this game with 13 losses this year. In part because of that. The 0-2 is outside, 1-2.
But one thing we do know, that they will sort it out. The guys that they have pitching at the back end of the game are way too talented and way too good not to figure it out, so you want to beat up on them right now while they're down.
Tigers have a chance to sweep this series. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That is one of the toughest things to do, whether you be at home or whether you be on the road, is sweep a major league team. It's difficult to sweep a big league team.
Swing and a miss, and Thornton looked lights out there, striking out 2 of the 3 he faces here in the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up. Tigers 3 outs away from a sweep. Last call for the White Sox. We go to the top of the ninth. That is 3-0 in favor of the Tigers, and an invitation for you to follow the Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry device. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and a whole lot more. Text at BAT to 31826 or check it out online at Tigers.com if you'd like more details. Got some changes now for the Tigers. They tighten up defensively. Santiago comes in to play second, and Rayburn will move from second to left. Bosch out of the game. New pitcher is on as well, and that would be the closer. His name is Papa Grande.
Well, we all know how tough Jose Valverde can be when he is on, and for the most part, he has been on this year. He is 4 for 4 in save opportunities, and the earned run average just a shade over 1.
Carlos Quentin leads it off for Chicago. Quentin, then Dunn, then Ramirez.
They've kind of kept Carlos Quentin in check here today.
That's tough to do. A couple of fly balls and a ground out. Those at bats against the starter, Max Scherzer, who was terrific today with 8 scoreless. The 0-1. In the air, right field. Cruising over, Casper Wells. Still going. One going.
So far, in the first 3 weeks of the season, Valverde has that devastating split-fingered fastball, but he's been getting it done with lots of fastballs early. A little cold out. The weather, fastball 96, 97.
Here comes Adam Dunn. 4 hits today for Chicago. 0-1 on Dunn.
Well, until Dunn starts to hit these fastballs in the 93 to 95 mile per hour range, he's going to get a steady diet of them. There are advanced scouts that are watching the White Sox. They play the Yankees next, and that's exactly what he'll get from the Yankees.
Ball, 1 strike.
There's some of the scouts, and the good scouts, they wear the earphones too, listening to the home broadcast, trying to get all the information they can get.
So there we go.
They are.
Good. Trade secret there.
Dialed in.
2-1. White Sox have gone 19 straight innings now without scoring in this series. And that's a mile-high pop-up left side of the infield. Inge waiting for it. It nestles into his glove. 2 gone. So 1 more out to go. Scherzer simply fabulous today. 7 strikeouts, no runs. And a crowd of 17,784 on Easter Sunday. Looking to go home happy today. Big Easter dinner will taste a whole lot better with the Tigers win.
That's right.
Oh, 0-1 on Ramirez. Alexi has strikeout victim twice in this game, 0 for 3. Valverde ready with the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away, make it 0-2. One strike away from closing this one down. One strike away from Valverde's 5th save. the 0-2. Broke his bat, soft liner to short on a hop. It gets by Peralta, no play as Inge scoops it up. And the inning is still alive. Infield hit for Alexi Ramirez. That'll bring up Pierzynski. Tough break for Valverde there. He shattered Ramirez's bat. And it's the 5th hit of the game for Chicago. AJ 2 out of 3, couple of singles. Strike one on Pierzynski. Only faced Valverde a couple of times, 1-for-2 career against him. Valverde trying to get Scherzer his 4th win of the season. Max starting the year at 3-0. John Danks didn't pitch badly himself. He struck out 8 before departing. Here's the 1-1 with the runner going. And a ball outside, 2-1. And taking second base, Ramirez uncontested. No stolen base for Alexi. Off day tomorrow for the ball club, and Seattle comes a calling beginning Tuesday night. Bill Cope, Felix Hernandez in that game. Tigers also have Verlander and Penny in that series. Here's the 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on AJ Pierzynski. So once again, the Valverde has it down to a single strike here. And the 2-2. On the ground to the shortstop. Nice backhanded play by Peralta. And that is that. The Tigers sweep the White Sox out of town.
Nifty pick by Johnny. Great weekend series by the Tigers. Great weekend series.
The Tigers had an above 500 road trip, and they come home and they win the first 3 games. Max Scherzer goes to 4-0 with the victory. The White Sox did not score over the final 20 innings of this series. 3-0 your final score. Back with more from Comerica Park.